Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome back for the nightcap. It is time for just one more. It is your Mimi's Makings Emotions Warrior Logistics Super Late Models live from here on Ultimate Dirt TV in beautiful Volusia, Florida, down here at the old Volusia Speedway Park. Of course, myself, Jerry Van Sickle, and our newest member. Oh, I'm so great to have this fella, good friend of mine, the voice of action, as racing returned to the Brandon, South Dakota speed plant known as Houston Speedway. Sean Neistat. Sean, great to, we've worked a couple of these together on some other things, but great to have you here on World of Thunder with us.
It is great to be here. The level of talent on this World of Thunder Super Sunday, as you've been calling it, has been outstanding for several hours now, and to be here for the nightcap, I am so excited. These cars on this racetrack, we are in for a treat to end this Sunday of excitement.
Super late models, a good field of them as they're out there turning and burning. Chase Hardy right now, the Virginia racer, well, he'll get knocked off as Dylan Hauser goes quick time with a 15.931 scooting this place pretty quick. There you see the first lady of dirt, old Mama Hans, Jennifer Hans out there. The old Mimi's Making Emotions number 11 machine. She'll roll off about 13th quick, it looks like. Ethan Toter, good-looking new wrap on that machine. Just a good-looking, clean old white and orange race car. Two colors. That's all you need, right, Sean?
That's all you need. Easy to read. How about Evan C., fresh off the big block win here just a few minutes ago? He jumps to the top of the charts here in qualifying, a 15.895. He'll bump Hauser down to third, and now Ferguson sits third in our qualifying order here at Volusia.
We'll see a Blake Majulis on the clock right now. Alex Robinson goes 48th quick. We'll see where Majulis rolled in at on the clock.
Look at that, though. The story right there, Jerry. 51 entries so far that have hit the racetrack. We've got a big crop to hit onto the track here tonight. This is going to be an exciting one.
Oh, it's great. You see Alex Bergeron on track right now. One of a handful of drivers doing 4 leagues, running 4 classes with us this year on season number 12 of World of Thunder. Like I said, there you see Blake Majulis out there on the clock. You saw out there Evan C. still top of the charts as they work on there. Now 53 drivers have taken to lap times here on Volusia Speedway as we run just, Sean, getting to the end of qualifying here as now Blake Majulis goes second quick with a 15.915, and now you see Dylan Wilson on there. Alex Bergeron back out there for another go-around. Of course, he picked up the DirtFans.com 410 feature win here just a couple shows ago, so we'll see what he can do in the late models. Bang, look at there, Sean. He goes 3 quick, third quick for the Canadian, and I believe that's going to put us 5 heat races tonight. And I'm not sure we'll get the telemetry down on qualify or transfer cars and everything, as it should be.
It'll be a big event. That's what we do know. A lot of cars here at Volusia. I love this racetrack, Jerry, and we've been watching it all night. I love the shape of this racetrack. Geometry, just you've got so many different angles and options. It's not your typical normal oval. So that's one of the things I love about this racetrack as we see our official standings from qualifying there, the 15.895 for Evan C. taking over quick time here this evening.
You take a look at the top 18, only 94 100ths of a second separate first back through 18th, so a good evenly matched field. We'll see 5 heat races tonight. Of course, your top 5 out of qualifying, Sean, will go to the pole, and we'll set them up this way here. Mimi's Making Emotion Warrior Logistics Super Late Model Heat Race number 1. We'll see Evan C. on the pole in the 33. In his outside, that's Adam Hummerding in the 42.
Second row, the 112 of Devin Morgan on the inside outside. Jason Lavely, the 39 machine out of Canada.
Let's see Zach McSwain, they're inside row number 3 in the 21, and Tanner Tomasi, they're in the 09 to row 3.
Jennifer Hotz inside the 4th row, the 11 machine. Dylan Wilson to her outside, pilots the number 80.
We'll see Eric York in the 52, sitting row number 5 to the inside, and Jarrett Murphy, the 25, to the right side.
And then we go to the 6th row. That's Bill Miller, the 55, inside, outside, the 54 of Mitch Stiles.
So we have got an action-packed 12-car heat race. Top 3, Sean. Top 3 will move on into tonight's A-main event. The rest of them, well, guess what? Grab a can opener and open that can of soup, because we will race some of them all the way through, and some of them, well, they know it's going to be their last chance to dance, so we'll see what happens. Here we go. Heat race number 1. Your Mimi's Makings Emotions Warrior Logistics Super Late Models here from Volusia, getting ready for the green flag. It is up, it is out, and Evan C. will lead the field on down into turn number 1.
See, with that lead, he led all 55 laps earlier in the big block race here. Look at that battle for second. Hommerding and Morgan side by side give the advantage now to Hommerding. The 42 machine, that puts Morgan in the final transfer spot. McSwain going to try to reel him in.
McSwain will be right back there, knocking on the door, trying to make something happen in that 09 machine. McSwain there now. Tomasi back there Tomasi in the 09, working to the back bumper as they work him on in. Remember, top 3 will transfer right now at C. Hommerding and Morgan. McSwain, though, he is hungry, looking to find the eyes and the prize on that 25 car.
Every position matters, though, for positions in the starting grids in your consolation features. So that's why these drivers very close right here. You continue to watch the number 25, McSwain, trying to come after the top 3. But the 112, Devin Morgan, continues to show that final transfer spot and working over the 42 of Hommerding. Long heat races, 12 total laps on these heats tonight as they come by the stripe once again.
They'll hurry super late model action here at Volusia down into turn number 1 and 2. Here comes now the 21 of McSwain, looking to the inside of Devin Morgan. Morgan had more to say than, just not take the spot. I've got it. He'll work it on in there, stay in that number 3 spot. Once again, McSwain coming back. Tomasi right back there. Everybody going fence post formation down into turn number 1.
Still a lot of grip in this racetrack as they rip around the bottom of the speedway. You see the 80 of Dylan Wilson. Tomasi just in front. Tomasi in the 5th spot. McSwain still in that white and orange machine, 1 out of a transfer.
We go on board with Dylan Wilson right now, the California racer, taking a look there. Look up under the skirt, looking sexy off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. They'll work into turn number 3 and 4. Like we said, top 3 kind of solidifying themselves as now the battle is on back there. You see Wilson digging and clawing down there on the bottom side. Watch this battle right ahead of him as now Hommerding sits comfortably in the number 2 position.
Looks comfortable inside that race car, too. Not too much motion with those hands as they come by the stripe. We're into the closing segment of heat race number 1. Continuing to run in that final transfer spot is Devin Morgan in the Buck 12 machine. They'll sail it down into turn number 3, coming off of turn number 4. Just a couple of laps to go on this one. McSwain's really going to have to hustle if he wants to go directly to the A.
McSwain has got the pedal to the metal, 4 to the floor, and looking for more. Can he do it as he hustles that 25 machine right there to the 112 of Devin Morgan? Not going to happen this time. They'll hustle down off of turn number 4 this time. Deuce to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. Green high. 2 left in this one.
Track starting to widen out now here in the closing laps on this one. Does it give McSwain the opportunity to make some last lap heroics coming up? He is closing in a bit on Morgan. They come by the white flag down into turn number 1. Final chance to make a move.
Down the back straightaway. This is the final 2 left-handers coming. Evan C. dominating heat race number 1, 12 in the book. This time across the starter's flag, it's Evan C. with the win. Second will go to Adam Hommerding, and then Devin Morgan, your top 3 transfer cars. As heat race number 1 goes to the book. C starts on the pole for the main event, and we will see the results, Sean, coming up here just momentarily. C. Hommerding, then Morgan, your top 3. McSwain, Tomasi, Wilson, Hans, Miller, York, Murphy, LaValle. Then you see Stiles working the number 12 spot. So that'll wrap up heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 ready to come to the racetrack, and look at this. It's multi-time national champion. That's Blake Majulis right there out of New York into his outside. That'll be the 1 driving for Team VLR. That's Ryan Underwood.
The second row on the inside lines up the number 4 machine. That's Huey Kilden behind the wheel. Josh Taylor on the outside of the second row. He goes position 4 in the 66.
Row number 3 to the inside. It's the 117. That's Brandon Freeberg. And to his outside, that'll be Blake Murray in the 79.
Brennan Weeks will start in position number 7. He's behind the wheel of the 22. The 92, Corey Austin, starts outside row number 4.
Going to row number 5, it's going to be Matthew Logan in the 41 machine, and his outside for the Tail Taggin Motorsports 999. That's Corey Sibley.
Matt Yorker, the Big Daddy Speed Concepts, number 34, lines up inside row number 6. And your final starter will be the 53 of Chris Kukta. He lines up in position 12. So another 12 cars, 12 laps, and 3 go to the dance here tonight.
I tell you what, Blake Majulis had a great run in the big blocks there in the show before, but looking for some redemption. I guarantee you he'll have that 127, that super late model, all wound up. Of course, Blake Majulis, a multi-time world-class racer, Sean. I mean, when you look at a late model driver's career in the iRacing world, I mean, everybody knows that Blake Majulis has been that champion. And he is the one that they all gun for in that 127.
He's the rabbit. He's, you go to the dog track and you have to have the greyhounds run. You put your money on them, but they don't run if there's not a rabbit out there. So that's why these drivers here tonight, they've got a chance to see and race Majulis right now, see how fast he is and what they can do with him. And right now, the 11 other drivers on the racetrack have a chance to see just how fast that rabbit runs out front. And maybe they can chase him down and give him some business out there for the win.
Blake Majulis, the inaugural iRacing world champion in super late models, brings the field. Ryan Underwood to his outside. You see him rock the haunch as the green flag comes out. We'll race for 12 laps of distance down into turn number 1 and 2. Majulis going to go from the point to the top spot. Here comes Ryan Underwood at the 46 car. Down the back straightaway, the 4 machine of Quillen and Freeberg. Now Freeberg working back in as we hustle to lap number 1.
Freeberg may have the position here as he works to the bottom of Quillen. They work down into turn number 1, still wheel to wheel off the corner. Now give the spot to the number 4 ride. That's the final transfer spot, the white, orange, and black. That shuffles Freeberg 1 out of a transfer with Josh Taylor all over him as they exit turn 4.
Down into turn number 1 and 2, still Majulis. Like you said, Sean, he is the rabbit the hounds are chasing. And down the back straightaway, they will do that. Ryan Underwood, Huey Quill, and then you see one out of a transfer, which is a good B-main starting spot. That is Brandon Freeberg in the 117. Remember, just because you haven't made the show 4th on back, you're still racing each other for position for better starting spots, just like Josh Taylor and Brandon Weeks are right now side by side down the back straightaway.
Good-looking car there, the 41 Matthew Logan working to the bottom as we're starting to see those second lines develop and a lot of grip and a lot of speed. Logan, Weeks, side-by-side for the position, and they're side-by-side just in front of them. Look at that, Josh Taylor on the move, the 66, now 1 out of a transfer, and that'll shuffle Freeberg back to position number 5.
It's all happening. They're still side-by-side off of turn number 4 and down into turn number 1 and 2. The 117 of Freeberg on the bottom, Taylor to the outside. Freeberg's going to pull that spot back into 171. On down into turn number 3 and 4, the 66 of Josh Taylor right there behind him. Going to go numbers deep to the inside. They'll rock and roll and drag race down. Contact. A little bit of right side romance applied getting into turn number 1.
Taylor was lucky not to get into the infield tractor tire there off of turn number 4 last time over there. That could have been a catastrophe. Matthew Logan, you see him focused on the screen right now coming off turn number 4. He sets his sights on the 66 of Taylor. We're just past the halfway point of this one.
Flags were crossed a couple laps ago as they hustle on in this battle back here for a better consolation race starting spot. Working on down the back straightaway, Matthew Logan, about got himself a look up under the skirt on that car in front of him. Logan out or looking down to the bottom of the racetrack. You see a lot of moisture down there trying to grab a hold of whatever he can as he throws it to the inside, lets that machine sing down the front straightaway as Taylor coming back to the bottom on him.
We go up into our Ultimate Dirt TV drone to give you this view. Huey Cullen in that final transfer spot as he works that number 4 machine up there in front of them. Still good battles all through the field on this heat race with just 2 laps to go. Continuing to see the 66 of Josh Taylor work to the inside of Matthew Logan. They go wheel to wheel now down the rounded back straightaway.
They'll hustle off of the dog like the 66 of Taylor got a little crossed up as they work down the front straightaway. White flag is waving this time as they hustle down turn number 1 and 2. Blake Majulis is Gone gone, and this one is about DUN done. Into turn number 3 and 4. He will rock and roll that super late model down to a Mimi's Making Emotion Warrior Logistics Heat Race number 2 win. Blake Majulis, Ryan Underwood, Huey Quillen, your top 3 finishers. Man, Sean, what a battle like there. Like we talk about the top 3, we know where they're going, but 4th on back, I mean, it is still a dogfight for where you're going to start in those, the D main, the C main, and the B main. But taking a look, like we said, Majulis, Underwood, and Quillen all going to the A. These guys will transfer back later. It'll be Freeburg, Logan, Taylor Murray, Weeks, Austin, Yorker, Sibley, and Cooch. They're right there, your top 12 as we get ready to move on to heat race number 4. Taking a look at your starting lineup, it'll be out of Quebec. That is Alex Bergeron in the 12 car. And to his outside, it's Chase Hardy out of Virginia in the 49.
Illinois is the home of Austin Friedman. He lines up inside row number 2, pilots the 89 machine. Dixon Slinger for full throttle performance outside of him in the 51.
We'll go to row number 3 to the inside. It's going to be Jordan Gage in the Mid-South Dirt Slingers 56, and then it'll be Justin Robinson in the HRE Motorsports 36.
Lyndon Whitfill in the 3 starts inside the 4th row. Joining him will be Drew Hopkins. That's the 157.
Going to row number 5 to the inside, it's James Grace in the 269. Dang, that's fine. That Blue Groove Motorsports machine. And Donnie Batiste in the 119 for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers.
And Jack Weaver in the 34 is your final starter for heat race number 3.
There we go. We are set to go. Heat race action, like you said, heat race number 3. Like we said, always great group of sponsors and big money on the line. Not only are they racing for a little bit of a paycheck every night on the World of Thunder Esports League Season 12, Sean, the payout at the end after the season is over, some big money on the line for points championships, usually pays the top 3 and 4. And I think if I remember right, after last night's post show, there's 2 classes. I can't remember if it's a supers. If you finish 12th in points, you get $112.
And that's real money, not virtual money.
Yeah, that's not it's not $200 to pass go to stay out of jail Monopoly money. It is hard, cold cash. And hang on, speaking of cash, we're crashing for cash down in turn 1 and 2. Oh, boy, they all got together deep in the field, and we're going to see the caution flag, Sean, come to the racetrack. First one of the evening here for the Supers.
You know, it may have started with Dixon Slinger. That 51 machine started outside one of the first rows, and happened before that. He actually made contact with the front straightaway wall, and that just kind of stacked everybody up. And, you'll see it right here on our Ultimate Dirt TV replay. Keep an eye on that 51. Started outside the second row, took a peek to the inside. Just not a great start for them front runners. Right there, a little contact, and then into the wall. See, it crinkles the car up pretty good, and everyone behind him really nowhere to go. You're got to kind of full send it on these heat races, trying to get every position you can, and the crash was on from there.
Yeah, so tough break here in heat race action as the yellow flag comes out. That gives us time, Sean, to thank all of our great sponsors here that make the World of Thunder Esports League happen. Of course, Mimi's Makings and Motions, Warrior Logistics, Miller Family Trucking, DirtFan.com, Grace Productions, the Worldwide iRacing League Association, Gage and Agronomy Services, Envision Custom Graphics, Mid-South Dirt Slingers, SRW, Rocket Race Setups, and Diggs, all helping bring Season 12 here on Ultimate Dirt TV. And we're glad to have each and every one of you tuned on in. And like we said, the Nordville, Quebec, Canada native sitting on the front row, him and Chase Hardy. Chase Hardy, of course, out of Virginia, sitting up there on that front row. And it's... like you said, Sean, and we talked about it. We've all kind of talked about it. There's some there's some competition in this league this year. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Jordan Gage in this heat race, another one of the leagues I work, a regional one here. He's from Iowa. I saw him get 2 wins with the Sodak iRacing Series. It's just right around our area. Very talented, but you can see, stuck kind of mid-pack in this one. That just tells you how many levels up the competition goes when you get into this level.
Yes, and we'll see them as, like we talked about, to be the best, you got to race the best, and that's what they're doing here in the World of Thunder this Sunday series, as it is Alex Bergeron out front, your race leader, the 12 out of Quebec, working down the front straightaway. Austin Friedman to the number 2 spot. Now we'll race on down into turn number 1 and 2. Here comes the 116 machine down around the bottom as they hustle on down. Bergeron, Friedman, Hardy. Look at this. Here's Jordan Gage coming through. Gage on the hustle.
Seeing that high line starting to get quicker and quicker. Gage takes a peek to the outside. No dice on that. That opens up the bottom line. Seeing things shuffle around quite a bit here for that final transfer spot. Gage gets shuffled back at least 2 positions after that contact on the front straightaway. Austin Friedman into the final transfer spot.
I keep an eye on that 157, Drew Hopkins. Hopkins working on there. You see Hopkins right there along with teammate in the 116. Down the back straightaway, Chase Hardy. Hardy to the outside. Here comes Whitfill down to the bottom side as they work there. Whitfill working that 21 machine down around the tires. Working off of turn number 4. Is it still Bergeron, your race leader? Friedman still second. But right here, Sean, the battle for third's up for grabs.
And it's not just the battle for third, it's a battle for a transfer position. This would get them from out of a consolation action. So Chase Hardy doing all he can to hold on to that final transfer spot, but he's got all sorts of pressure coming from behind him. Hopkins right there, Whitfill into the mix as well. It's getting wild for third, fourth, and fifth, 3 wide off of turn number 4.
Jim Dandy burning up here in heat race number 3. You got teammates Hopkins and Hardy working the 21 machine of Whitfill. Whitfill on the outside. Man, this racetrack is coming around in grand fashion. 3 lanes of racing. They're 3 deep and selling cheap. Oh, Hopkins caught the inside retaining wall. He stumbles, and that is going to upset the geometry of the front of this machine.
Does he have enough time to reel them back in and salvage another position or maybe get to a transfer spot? We'll find out. But right now, Landon Whitfill going to work. He is trying to chase down Chase Hardy for all he's worth with just a short handful of laps to go on this one. You see Whitfill working the middle, the 116 of Hardy, working a higher line, sails it into turn number 3, and they're chasing down Austin Friedman running in second.
Jerry Reed said it best, when you got a long way to go and a short time to get there. They're eastbound. Now watch that 21 run, trying to make it happen. That is the 21 of Whitfill. Whitfill knows he's one out. He wants to get in. He sits in the catbird seat, trying to make it, try to get to the bump spot. They hustle off of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, still Bergeron, Friedman, Hardy. That's your top 3.
Can Whitfill get there? He's got a half lap to find out. Here you see Alex Bergeron. The Alex Bergeron racing number 12 off of turn number 4. He'll win heat race number 3. Friedman second. Hardy for third. He's got it. Whitfill will come up short in the 4th spot with Hopkins in position number 5.
Whitfill right there. You saw him as they came into turn 3. He was, he went to Home Depot, grabbed the kitchen sink, and was throwing it at him. Just couldn't get it done. So Alex Bergeron, Austin Friedman, and Chase Hardy moving directly to the A main. Then it's Whitfill, Hopkins, Gage, Grace, Batiste, Robinson, Weaver, and Slinger all moving to consolation events later here on your nightcap. Here we go. Heat race number 4 of your Mimi's Makings Emotions. Warrior Logistics Super Late Models. It is Dylan Hauser in the 2 machine on the pole and Travis St. Clair in the 13 to the outside.
The number 17 will start inside the second row. That's Derek Keltner behind the wheel. Mason Lobb outside of him. That's the number 28 for Slam Sim Sports.
Going to row number 3 from the Mid-South region, it is Brent New in the 144, and it is Jay Darrell Literal in the 68 machine to the outside.
$1 Million Motorsports. That's one of my favorite team names out there. That's Eric Scalf in the number 50. He lines up in the 7th spot, and joining him in row number 4, it's Ethan Toter, the number 23.
Here we go to row number 5. It's going to be Robert Fletcher in the 077, and to his outside will be Randall Carter driving the 37.
Timothy Korkikowski in the number 40 coming off the back. He'll start 11th on the grid for heat race number 4 in the Mimi's Makings in Motion Warrior Logistics Super Late Models.
We'll see these things work on around. Of course, Mimi's Makings in Motions. I mean, some great handcrafted novelty items from masks to, about anything you could think of. the Hanses can make them on up. So if you're ever looking for that unique little idea, Sean, that maybe your wife or your grandma or, like for me, my ex-mother-in-law is looking for, they can make them at Mimi's Makings and Motions. And Warrior Logistics, I tell you what, if you are if you hold a CDL and you're looking for a change in career of driving over the road, they are the region's, they're hiring, I believe, in the Kansas City, Dallas, Fort Worth area for team drivers. Of course, they are one of the prestigious freight companies that hauls exclusively for FedEx. So if you're looking for a change drivers, you have a CDL, see them at Warrior Logistics. They'll get you all fixed up. And we appreciate Mimi's Makings Emotions and Warrior Logistics for bringing you tonight's and season 12 action for the super late models. Dylan Hauser says, action's on, boys. Come and get it. All right, dinner served, and they are all chasing the dessert down the front straightaway. Now down the back straightaway. Hauser, your leader. Here comes Keltner. Keltner and Sinclair side by side.
Right there as well is Lob in the fourth spot as he'll work around the outside. Low contact as they hustle down to turn number one. Anybody's guess how this is going to shake out. They were nearly 3 wide off of turn number 2. St. Clair in the 13 ripping the top side here in heat race number 4. He's got a transfer spot. They were nearly 4 wide getting into turn 3. That shakes out, settles down into 2x2 action. Wheel to wheel down into turn number 1.
What a great heat race number 4. We will see them down there as they go into turn number 3 and 4. We ride along with Mason Lobb. Now Brent New, they're in there into the number 5 spot in the 28 car, which I believe right now on the scorecard is the 44. Lobb in the 144 working the outside, down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. This great battle as they hustle off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway.
This is getting wild, and there you go. Contact and trouble. Car going around. Brent New in the 44 is going to go around here at the end of the front straightaway, and a caution flag flies.
I will take a look at the Ultimate Dirt TV replay. You see him already around. Contact that happened just shy of the starter stand as you saw the Brent New's up there just ripping the lip on this thing, and I don't think they thought it didn't look like the gap was gonna close as quick as it did, but unfortunately when it did, Brent New went sailing across the nose of another competitor and down to the infield. So we'll see how they call this one out. Dylan Hauser is your race leader. Derek Keltner, Travis St. Clair right now your third and final transfer spot. Mason Lobb, one out looking in. And we'll see if he's got the mustard to cover the hot dog to get up into the number 3 spot.
I think the top 3 really didn't want to see that caution because from 4th on back, the racing was so wild just for that 4th spot. I don't know if they were going to be able to sort that out and come after the top 3 for a transfer spot. So this caution flag really changes everything, Jerry, and Lobb's going to have a chance. Scalf is right there in the 50 and has been running strong as well. They restart 4th and 5th. St. Clair's going to have to be on his game to hold on to position number 3.
We'll have to watch this one, Sean. Like you said, everybody's hungry. It's the first race of season 12. Everybody has that eye on the prize of leaving tonight as the series points leader. And, of course, like I said, big money on the line towards the end of for a championship in this one. And with the caliber of racers and the world-class racers and the multi-time world champions that you have in the World of Thunder League, it's everybody knows that on a Super Sunday Fun Day, you better bring that A game to Ultimate Dirt TV, because if you don't, you might just be sitting on the porch for this one.
You don't want to dig yourself a hole here early on in the season. Is certainly the case. So every position is going to matter. We light them up off of turn number 4. Once again, great restart there for Hauser. He'll lead him down into 1. Here comes that 13 of St. Clair. He heard him rumbling behind him. He wanted to get going, but here comes Lobb coming after him, and the caution is back out.
Yellow flag back onto the racing surface. See if we can find out what happened. I'm going to believe might have something to do with the 40 car. We'll see if there's a replay on it. But that brings us back under the caution flag.
I was getting a little worried about Hauser. I didn't see him there, but he had just snuck away from the field so well in that restart. We couldn't see him in the screen. So great restart there for the 2 ride. But back under the caution here, right around the halfway point of our 4th out of 5 heat races this evening.
I knew he was here, Sean. I knew it. Guess who's here at the races tonight?
Oh boy.
He's down in turn 2.
I don't see him over there. Who are we talking about?
Jacques Debris just stepped back in his camper. Apparently, Jacques Debris went onto the racetrack and brought the caution out. I tell you, I seen him and Roxanne earlier tonight down there during the while I was off for the big blocks. I saw Jacques and Roxanne. They're in their 47th year of wedding bliss, and I mean, they go to about every race I'm at and every race I call, and even in the virtual world. And he appears sometimes, and when he does, it's always never where he needs to be, and the caution comes out.
Now, did they have a son now? Is that Jock Jr.?
No, well, no. I don't. Yeah, there was rumors that they had children, and I mean, if you know Jacques, he can breed pretty quickly. But then sometimes,
it seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, you never see. Then sometimes you never see his children, so it's like, I don't know. I never asked the Jacques and Roxanne about their personal life.
That's probably a good idea to keep it that way.
Yes. It might be something you hear about on those ID channel movies or something. Off of turn number 4, we get ready to go back to the green flag. Dylan Hauser going to lead the field off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Derek Keltner and Travis Sinclair all in tow as we get ready to come to lap number 7.
St. Clair in that third spot, the 13, black and green coming off the high side of turn number 4. He's got a bit of breathing room back to the 4th position running. Number 10 machine you see there on the car, Mason Lobb, Randall Carter into the top 5 in that 37, hustling the top side down the back straightaway into turn number 3. We'll have to keep an eye on Carter. He seems to be getting the momentum really wound up on that high line, and he's looking to grab another spot. He does. He's up to 4th.
Carter had a great run in the big blocks just a race ago. We'll see he finished 3rd, put her on the podium for the big blocks here at Volusia. He'll roll the top of the racetrack. You see right there just a good bit of moisture and a good bit of tack coming right through the midsection, turn number 3 and 4, and he gets it every time. Puts himself ahead of Mason Lobb, but now he sets his sights on Travis St. Clair. Does St. Clair have enough oomph in the tank to hold him at bay? They'll bring him on down this time. We are going to be looking at 2 laps to go.
If he's going to get there, he's really going to have to work on it. They're talking about Randall Carter because you see the 13 of Travis St. Clair running flawlessly around that middle groove, which is the high line. But there you see Carter coming into the screen. White flag in the air. Final lap on heat 4.
They'll work down into turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Down the back straightaway, it'll be Hauser, Keltner, and Sinclair. 1, 2, and 3. Will they stay that way? They'll get down into the bottom side of turn number 3 and 4. Make the final 2 left-handers do that 100-yard dash to the checkers. It's Dylan Hauser, Derek Keltner, and Travis Sinclair. Uno, dos, tres. And they go right to the A main. The rest of them all going to transfer into consolation races, and we'll take a look at your finishing order as your top 3 finishers go. Dylan Hauser, Derek Keltner, and Travis Sinclair. Then it'll be Carter, Lobb, Sculf, Literal, Fletcher, Toter, New, and Korkanowski. They're in the 40, round out the field. 5th and final heat race, Sean, coming at us. It's going to be Caleb Ferguson on the 29 car into his outside. Always my favorite. From New York, it's Tia Moppert in the 14 car.
She needs a new headset, I've heard. Mike Augustine, the 72 out of Pennsylvania, starts inside the second row, and that's Davin Cardwell, the 07 outside of the second row.
Chris Oriacina, they're in the 78 car, sits inside of row number 3. To the outside is James Ray in the 00.
Then we'll find Travis Gardner, the driver of the number 43, inside of row number 4. And to his right, it's Alan Duranco, the number 9 machine.
We will see Tyson Pankow there in the 91 and Jay Place in the 16 car.
And from the back out of Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, that's the 42 of Alex Robinson. 11 cars. 12 at times around 3 go directly to the A main. Our final heat race on the racetrack tonight for the Mimi's Makings in Motion Warrior Logistics Super Late Models.
So we'll see what happens. Caleb Ferguson up there on the front row with Tia Moppert. Of course, Tia working the Super Late Models. Just started racing with us here last couple seasons. So we'll see and watch how quick she is tonight. And yes, of course, as most people say, you being a sprint car guy, of course, Alex Robinson is from Pennsylvania. He always commends and always talks about how great the posse is, but we sometimes know that the posse doesn't leave the porch. They race right around home. Alex has left home for this one. I do know his mom and dad have written us and asked that we take care of him while he is here in Florida.
We will do that. We'll keep an eye on him as we hustle down into turn number 1. Look at this mess of cars. Nearly 3 wide for the race lead. Moppert up there on the top. Ferguson, Cardwell, 3 cars battling for the race lead here on the opening lap as we get slideways off of turn number 4. First lap goes into the books and throw a blanket over the top 5.
Tia Moppert racing like mama needs a new headset. Down the back straightaway, she's going to get hustled up the racetrack by Orsia there. Then you see the 91 of Pankow. Pankow from deep in the field. Oh, he got tight. He gets into Moppert. Moppert goes up the racetrack, and then she's going to get blasted from behind as we look as she is able to hang on and save that machine. Now, Davin Cardwell's got company. Here comes Caleb Ferguson. Ferguson down to the inside. It will be Cardwell to the top. Cardwell and Ferguson working there, 1 and 2. Sliders being served. The crave cases from the White Castle are half price today, is what I'm being told.
And track getting really wide here for this 5th heat race for the Mimis making his emotions. Warrior Logistics late models. Now you see the top 3. They'll all go down to the bottom side of the speedway. Caleb Ferguson, Davin Cardwell, Chris Orencia, your top 3.
As they work on down, you see it right here. Here comes the 91 machine of Tyson Pankow. Pankow started deep in this one. Got the old Diggs 91 on dig right now down to the bottom side. Chris Orencia working right there in the number 3 spot. He is in the bump position. You want to be 3rd or better, and you see the 91 of Pankow trying to get on and get off of turn number 2 better than that 78 car. He's looking for forward drive, Sean. May he have it off the top of 4? We'll find out.
And we've got a race for the lead. Caleb Ferguson, Davin Cardwell going side by side, door to door off of turn number 2. Ferguson prevails with the lead, but Cardwell, great drive off the bottom of the second turn. He'll stick his nose to the inside between Ferguson and the inside concrete. Side by side off of 4 once again. Ferguson to the lead, Cardwell to the lead at the stripe.
Oh, what a battle for the top spot. P1 is up for grabs. Cardwell's got it. Cardwell right there in the 70 car, working the 29, or of course it's the 4. Ooh, little look up under the skirt. Peeky poo to the garter belt. What color is it? Off of turn number 2 or 4 and down the front straightaway. That battle for the lead kind of has a little bit of breathing room. A piece of insurance has been bought, but look at this. No insurance given to the 78 of Chris Orencia, as he has now got Tyson Pankow in the number 3 spot.
Pankow into that final transfer way up the racetrack off of 4. Few laps to go on this one. Pankow in the final transfer spot and trying to set his sights on Ferguson to reel in that top 2 just a little bit. Top 2 running the hub of the racetrack. We'll see if Pankow can grab onto some Uncle Mo and chase them down.
We'll see what happens as down the front straightaway. There is 2 laps to go. It is Davin Cardwell off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Cardwell still out front, followed by Caleb Ferguson and Tyson Pankow. They'll work into turn number 3 and 4. This time, they'll come across the stripe. White flags out and 1 to go.
Final lap of our final heat race of the evening, and it is all Davin Cardwell out front right now. That 70 car looking very strong in this final heat. Final set of turns. He'll go in on the top. Does Ferguson have anything on the bottom? He'll take a peek, but can't get there. Cardwell gets the win. Ferguson and Pankow, your transfers from heat race number 5.
That'll wrap up our Warrior Logistics heat races on the Mimi's Makings and Motions Super Late Model Nightcap here on the World of Thunder Esports League on Ultimate Dirt TV. Take a look at your finishing order as they hustle them on down. D-Main getting ready to come to the staging lanes here momentarily. It'll be Cardwell, Ferguson, and Pankow all going to the A-Main. Orencia, Moppert, Ray Place, Duranco. Then it'll be Augustine, Gardner, and Alex Robinson working into consolation events. And Sean, hang on a minute. I just opened the can. It's time for a little soup on a nice wintry evening.
It is, and I've got a hunch some of the soup's going to be hot here tonight as we will get set for a D main. course, the top finishers of this one roll into the C, then the B, and then we've got the big dance. So your starting lineup for tonight's D-Main has Corey Austin, the 92, on the pole. Justin Robinson to his outside in the 36.
We'll go to row number 2 to the inside. Man, you look at some of the names in this D-Main, and wow, Ethan Toter, the 23, starting inside of row number 2. And to the outside, Mike Augustine in the 72.
Jarrett Murphy starts 5th on the grid, and outside row number 3, it's Matt Yorker in the 34.
Going to row number 4, it's going to be Jack Weaver in the 034 and Brent New in the 144.
5th row, Travis Gardner on the inside in the 43. Then Joseph Lavalle outside of him, the number 39 out of Canada.
You bet. Then it'll be Corey Sibley in the 999 and Dixon Slinger in the 51, starting in the 12th spot.
Timothy Korkikowski in the number 40 starts 13th. Alex Robinson outside of the 7th row in the 042.
Then we'll see our final 2 starters. It'll be Mitch Stiles in the 54 and Chris Kutchka in the 53. So you see Alex Robinson out there. Imagine that in the D, working from deep in the field. So we'll see if he's got something for them as we get ready for the D main here on Mimi's Makings and Motions Warrior Logistics season opener at Volusia for the World of Thunder Esports League here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We do thank and appreciate you being tuned on in. Speaking of tuned, they're tuned up and racing on down into turn number 1. It's going to be Corey Austin, the 92 to the top side, but here comes Ethan Toter, chug-a-look, choo-choo, racing down to the bottom side as they work him on in. Justin Robinson right there in the 21, and we're caution, Sean.
Hello coming out. Boy, I tell you what, Corey Austin come off that front row, sailed it down there in the turn number 1, and he's got a pretty looking race car. I love black, red, and chrome together, but boy, that car looked really tight. We'll get a look here of something else that probably may not have been so pretty. Oh, big trouble. And yeah, that just transpired just behind your race leaders. Another good looking race car, the 999. He had trouble several times in the big block feature earlier tonight, as you see Travis Gardner there. He may be the one who really sailed it up into the air. Yeah, just tight racing down that back straightaway. There's that arc to the backstretch, and it can bite you quick.
Yeah, now see, I think Gardner's going to buff out, but Corey Sibley, it's going to take a little extra. It might take a little wet sanding to get that thing to shine back up again.
The last hour of Corey Sibley's night has not been a lot of fun for the driver of that 999 car. He has found himself in the middle of a lot of trouble out there on the racetrack, and yeah, he's probably going to have to pack it in now and maybe hope for a better go of it next Sunday.
We'll have to see. Of course, Super Sunday Fun Days here on Ultimate Dirt TV can either be a friend or foe. They can either be feast or famine, but everybody, that's why we call them Fun Days, right, Sean? He's just here to have a good time, have fun, and enjoy 4 shows of racing. It's hard to believe that. I mean, that's a lot of racing.
That's a fun day. That's why you named it Super Sunday Fun Day, right?
Yeah, I mean, because it's super because there's like super racing and it's Sunday, and we all know Sunday Fun Day. You know, I mean, I'm hoping though for not a manic Monday tomorrow. Ooh. I just, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm used to this Sunday night racing, get up and go to work Monday thing. I've done this for years and years and years. Sunday night's is my night, man.
Yeah, you and I did that back in August, and my Sunday Fun Day with you at Huset's turned into a manic Monday because I got home just in time to go to work that next morning. So we'll see it, Corey Austin. I know I'm looking forward to making the trip back to Brandon, South Dakota numerous times this year and stepping in the booth with you. We'll see what happens here. Corey Austin on out front. They work him on down as they hustle. Look at this great 2x2 action all the way through the field, Sean.
There you see Joseph Lavalle working there 3 wide as the 51 machine of Dixon Slinger trying to get a better run. He, of course, had trouble in his heat race. He gets a little poke from behind. They flash by the stand where it looks like we're halfway home in this D main. Slinger working the bottom in the 51. He's up to the 4th spot. He'll put Yorker back to position number 5. They work through turn 3 off of turn number 4 in tonight's D main.
Remember, if you're not in the first 4 spots, you are not getting a chance to dance. Slinger is a +8 into that number 4 spot in the 51 car. He now sets his sights on the car ahead of him. Now we take a look at this battle for the race lead. Corey Austin round the outside. Going to the top side is Austin. Down to the bottom is Toter. Ethan Toter working it down along the hub. They'll hustle off at turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Toter's got some big forward drive off the bottom. Is going to let it slide to the top, keeping that thing straight. That's what you got to do when she starts to slick off. Keep it straight. Keep her in the moisture. Keep that dig going. And speaking of digging around the outside is that 92 machine of Corey Austin.
So Austin and Toter side by side, using opposite lines around the racetrack. Toter on the bottom, Austin on the top, foot on the floor, gets the car way too loose and way too far out there. Toter now with a nice advantage with the white flag in the air.
They work him on down the back straightaway. It is still Ethan Toter, your race leader. Toter down around the bottom side. Corey Austin, Dixon Slinger, and Justin Robinson. That's the way they'll come across the stripe. Bing, bang, boom. That one's done. Toter, Austin, Slinger, and Robinson all have still a chance to dance. Fifth on back, though. Well, I did say you looked nice in those pants, as they're going to have to come back next Sunday night and finish them on up. So D-Main action complete. C-Main coming. So we take a look. I think we're going to grab our results here real quick. So, top 4, like we said, Toter, Austin, Slinger, Robinson. Not Alex Robinson, unfortunately, Justin Robinson. And there is no relation, just so everybody knows. Matt Yorker, Lavallee, then it's New, Kirchta, then it'll be Korkanowski, Gardner, Alex Robinson. It'll be Sibley, Augustine, Murphy, Weaver, and Styles, rounding out your 16 cars in the Mimi's Making Emotion Warrior Logistics Super Late Models. D-Main here tonight. C-Main, here we go. Eric Skolf, the 50 machine on the pole, and James Ray to the outside in the double lot.
Row 2, that's Jennifer Hotz on the inside in the 011, and Blake Murray on the outside in car 79.
Into row number 3, it's a 269, and James Grace into his outside. It'll be Darren Literal there in the 68 machine.
Jay Place lines up inside row number 4. He pilots the number 16 with Bill Miller in the 55 outside row 4.
Getting ready to go to row number 5. It will be the 9th place starter. That's Brandon Weeks in the 22 for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers, and Donnie Batiste in the 119, also driving out of the same camp, Mid-South Dirt Slingers.
The 11th starter is Robert Fletcher, the 077, inside row number 6, and joining him in that row is Alan Duranco in the number 9.
Taking a look, then we see Eric York in the 52, and then your first of 4 transfer cars out of the D-Main, Ethan Toter, the 23.
Corey Austin starts 15th on the grid, the 92. Dixon Slinger outside in the 51.
And Justin Robinson goes shotgun in the 17th starting spot. I believe in this one, probably the same format. Top 4 cars moving to the B main. And Sean, this one will be 10 circuits in its entirety.
Let's keep an eye on the 51 of Slinger in this one. Started 12th in the D, got a transfer. We'll have to see how far he can transfer up in the C main and maybe, just maybe, keep them dancing shoes on if he can get to a top 4.
We will see our way to the green flag. 10 laps of distance, top 4 going to the B. Down into turn number 1 and 2. It is going to be down to the bottom side. Jennifer Hotz sneaking on into the number 2 spot. Eric Skolf, your race leader. Jimmy Ray working back there in the number 3 spot. 4th right now is the 79 of Blake Murray. Murray's got company though, Sean. Look at this. It is a wig and a wag and a zig and a zag down the front straightaway. James Grace. And there was a lot of love and touch and squeezing down into turn number 1.
They need to call a real estate agent because more real estate was needed down there in turn number 4. Jay Place up to the 5th spot, but he can't settle in there. That's one out of a transfer. And here comes James Grace to the inside, looking for position number 5. They hustle back down to turn number 1. Grace in place, side by side.
Dang, there you was a poet and you didn't even know it as they race down the back straightaway. Now up front, look at this, Mama Hans, here comes Jennifer. She will work the top of the racetrack. Of course, we saw her in 410 sprint car action earlier tonight, her debut in a 410 sprint car here on the World of Thunder Esports League, and now she's back at home where she is comfortable in a super late model here for the nightcap. Can she do it? She sits there in the number 2 spot. To the inside is Jimmy Ray. James Ray down there in the 00. Jennifer Hotz put the 11s to the outside. Look at this, Sean. There is a lot of dig down the back straightaway.
Still able to find that motion. Oh, sails it in, and we've got contact and trouble, and That is going to bring out a caution in tonight's C main. Just a little miscalculation on the entry of the corner there for Hans in the 11.
Right about here, I think, is where it starts, where the GPS unit goes to recalculation, and then she missed the turn. Just drove her in there a little too deep and took a look up under the skirt, and, well, they end up in the fence. Tough break. Both cars doing a great job. They will both go to the tail of this one, and that will change the complexity as James Grace and Jay Place say, hey, we're going to move on up here. We're okay with that.
You know who else is going to be okay is that 51 machine of Slinger. Again, started fourth in his heat race. Had trouble on the front stretch right on the start. Had to go to the D, transferred into the C, and I think he's up to the 6th spot right now as we're just right around that halfway point. So keep an eye on that 51 machine. He's got the shoe shine guy ready to go. He wants to keep him nice and pretty and keep dancing.
Heck yes. I tell you what, he's got his party pants ready to go. We'll see if he can do it there as we get ready to go off into the move there. Of course, Robert Fletcher, 7 spots.
What exactly are party pants?
I don't know. I just kind of, I mean, you know, you got Sean. You put on a good pair of shoes and a pants and a jacket when you want to go out and have a good time. And I mean, right now, I mean, you got to have your party pants and your dancing shoes on if you're going to make this B main.
I think I've seen you wear party pants. There's the ones with the sparkles on the backside that say "juicy." Does that? Those are party pants, right?
Yes, they are. Your wife was kind enough to let me borrow them from you that night when we was in Sioux Falls together, and I appreciated it of her. But she did tell me that I looked better in them than you. So let's party on down into turn number 1 and 2. Oh, by the way, I did get the Christmas card, and I did make sure I hung it up from you guys. It's just a beautiful. Nice. I got it on Christmas Eve too, so it's just special.
Oh, no, it's getting special right now for that 4th spot. Oh, boy. That was a big move. Dixon Slinger got to the inside. He's in a transfer in that 51. Look at this, Jerry.
Dixon Slinger, this is why I don't care what it is in life, whether it's anything you do, this is why you never give up, because you never know when opportunity is going to present itself and a door is going to open that you can waltz on through. And he has danced his way into a transfer spot, that 51 of Dixon Slinger. Slinger on down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Look out, they'll get ahead of him. James Grace got a little crossed up. 79 of Blake Murray had to back it out of the throttle, and now look at this. Here comes a 51 of Slinger to 3rd.
Look at the patience Slinger has. He's right down next to the concrete on the bottom of the racetrack, and that concrete will reach out and bite you worse than a gator that lives in the pond off the back straightaway if you miss your mark by a couple of inches down there. But Slinger right now into 3rd. Scalf continues to lead with the white flag out.
I tell you what, the gators will bite the tires, but it's the lizards that'll get you every time, and you don't see them in front or behind that 51 car of Slinger. Slinger's coming down to the inside. Checkered flag is coming out. It'll be Scalf, Grace, Slinger, and Murray. They will have a chance to dance as they go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And holy cow, there is an extra helping of tomato soup being served on up. And I tell you what, if Slinger can make it to the A main, I guarantee you there's going to be some grilled cheese to go with it too. So Let's take a look. I know that does sound good, doesn't it? Yes. Eric Scalf, James Grace, Dixon Slinger, and Blake Murray are now into the B main. These folks, well, see you next Sunday. It'll be Place, Toter, Austin, Ray, Fletcher, Robinson, Hans, Literal, Miller, York, Duranco, Batiste, and Weeks. So hopefully they will have better showings next week. And let's take a look as Zach McSwain starts on the pole of your B main in the 21, and Brandon Freeberg, the 117 to his outside.
Lyndon Whitfield lines up inside the 2nd row in the number 3, the 37 of Randall Carter outside.
Chris Orsina there in the 78 to the inside of row number 3. To the outside is Tanner Tomasi in the 09.
At the 4th row, Matthew Logan in the 41. Inside, Drew Hopkins, the 157 outside.
Here we go. It will be Mason Lobb in the 28. And racing, need a new headset.com. It is TM Operate in the 14 car.
Dylan Wilson in the number 80 lines up inside the 6th row with Josh Taylor on the outside of that row. He drives the 66.
Then we will see Jordan Gage in the 13th starting spot, and it'll be Eric Skolf to his outside in the 14th starting position.
James Grace lines up inside the 8th row. That's the 269, and Dixon Slinger, will have our eyes on him. The number 51 starting 16th. By the way, that's where he started in the C as well.
Ooh, we'll see what he's got for him. It'll be Blake Murray, though, starting shotgun in the 79. Man, can Dixon Slinger do it? Can he do what Doug Wolfgang did in the 1985 Knoxville Nationals and come through the soup to make the A? We'll see.
There was some soup this week down there at the Chili Bowl. Hey, you know what's going to be awesome tonight after this B main? I promise there won't be a 90-minute break before the A main.
Yeah, no, there won't. There will not be a 90-minute track prep session. I didn't even watch it last night because we were having some chats and some preview shows here. But holy cow, the social media was at. And I mean, I remember going to Chili Bowl before it had TV time, and it was always a little lengthy between the B's and the A, but never what it was. So hopefully they can get that thing tuned in and tuned out. And I understand that live TV's got a lot to do with that, but all in all, it's that's a lot of racing in a Saturday. I've sat through the 10 a.m. stuff till midnight racing down there at the Chili Bowl. And speaking of not sitting back there any longer, it's going to be Randall Carter, as he is going to want to come up through the field in this one. Look out. Hang on. Everything's going to get right. Well, not get right and tight. Hang on. We've got them up on top of each other as the yellow flag comes out, and I believe we will have an educational video courtesy of the 13 of Jordan Gage on how late models are made. Yeah, I think that's how it is. You there's a lot of right here. There's a lot of loving, touching, squeezing that happens to start the process. You see the 51 machine there on the bottom side. A Slinger he knows he's got to get up front. Things get tight down there. He gets into the 10M machine, and then right here it's time to regulators mount up.
I think somebody may have clipped the inside wall over there in turn number 4 that kind of got all of that started. Yeah, that got ugly in a hurry over there, Jerry.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. We've got all kinds of looks like it's chain reaction. The way it looks is 78 got a little crossed up on the top side, and I think everybody on the bottom started doing some evasive action, and as that did, it just turned into a chain reaction. A chain reaction cluster. You know what?
Accordion, one of my favorite instruments in the world, the accordion. And
I do love me some good polka.
That's right. So that's what happened over there. Things get tight right now. You got to be way up there high on the racetrack, it looks like, or you've got to really fight to get to the bottom of the speedway. And so that may be a little bit of the byproduct of the track getting tough here, but these drivers in this league, they're going to figure it out, and we're going to have some great racing still ahead in this B main. Of course, the A main for the Mimi's Makings in Motion. Warrior Logistics Super Late models right around the corner. We've got 4 more transfer spots. Wait, am I right? Is it 4?
Yes. Nope. 9. Top 9.
Yeah. See.
So what you're saying is the crash. In that situation, the crash is what whey is to cheese. It's because whey is a byproduct of cheese.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Just like the whey product or the byproduct of alcohol is going to the bathroom, I guess. So here we go. Looking for the green flag. It is up. It is out. McSwain, Whitfall, Freeberg, and Carter. Drew Hopkins. Like we said, some of the names you're seeing in a B main tonight, a C main and a D main, you normally would never see in there. But with the caliper and the driving or the drivers that we've got in this league this season are making it ultra tough for everybody to dominate. As right now down the back straightaway, there's no dominating for that 4th spot, Sean. It is up for grabs as it is still anybody's race with 4 laps in the books.
You were talking about cheese. How about Zach McSwain right now? Like the proverbial cheese, he stands alone out front. But Lyndon Whitfill, Randall Carter, you see this battle for second. Carter working the top in that black 37. Oh, sliding through there. Brandon Freeberg sailed it into turn number 3. He took over his spot, but Hopkins coming back to his inside right there in the 157.
I tell you what, Drew Hopkins sitting back there, he is one out of a transfer. He's got Devo on the radio saying, crack that whip. Time to get on around and make your mama laugh as they hurry off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. It's going to be 3 deep, selling cheap down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at Hopkins on the bottom side, a 21 machine right there to the midsection, and 171 on the outside. They race down the back straightaway. That is Orsina and Logan right there, hurrying on in off of turn number 4.
They've got to be smart. Remember, it's not 4 that transfer, it's 9 that transfer. And so right here, they don't want to get this 3 wide stuff they've been doing. They got to settle this out, because if they make contact and fall back, they're going to find themselves right out of a transfer spot. Tanner Thomasy right now is back there in the 9th spot. He is the last running transfer.
I got all confused. Yes, top 9, Tomasi right there in the final transfer spot. But this battle right here, Hopkins followed by Freeberg and Whitful. These guys know they're in the show. So many times you see it, whether it's on iRacing or whether it's out in the real world. Guys get greedy. They want that extra spot. But you got to be patient with it. Now Carter going to be taking a look at McSwain. Like we said, these two are both in the show, but it's for an inside or outside starting spot come feature time. They'll work on into turn number 3 and 4. It is Zach McSwain, still your leader. Randall Carter, Drew Hopkins, your top 3 with a pair to go.
So right there, Carter, you saw chase down McSwain. Still good battle here. Whitfield in the 21, the 117 or 171, depends on where you want to look. Brandon Freeberg still in 4th, and we'll bunch the field up with the yellow flag over the speedway.
Caution flag out on the speedway as this one's going to go to a green-white checkered run. Let's take a look at your Ultimate Dirt TV instant replay. And, hang on, it's going to be... right side Romance, left side Levin. Tia Moppert gets, Tia Moppert, I guess take a look up under the dress. That's how you get a new headset. As Tanner Tomasi right there gets a little greedy back there, but things got all kinds of miscombobulated again back there off of turn number 4 where a couple of doozies of accidents have happened, Sean.
Look who this happens right in front of. You're going to see him in the screen, and I hate to keep talking about the same person over and over, but Slinger right there in the 51, he sees him 3 wide on the bottom right in front of him, and watch him sneak through this mess off of turn number 4. So the full throttle performance car, he sees that. That's right in front of him, and he goes right here to the bottom and is going to sneak through, I believe, unscathed.
Wow. Takes 4 spots, and you see it. What's unique about Volusia was we watch it overhead. That where those right here, where the infield tires are at. It sticks out just a little further than the wall was for the opening coming off of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. So if you pinched it down, we saw that with 3 wide, they got pinched down pretty tight on the bottom, and that guy on the bottom he's got 2 options: take the tires or let things clean up on the racetrack to the top. And sometimes when you've got to let the car come off the bottom like that, it creates that like you said, byproduct of the racetrack. And man, let's take a look here. Where's that 51? He's 13th.
Still a ways to go.
He can do it. I mean, it's still, anything can happen. Green, white, checkered coming. It is McSwain, Carter, Hopkins, Freeberg, Whitful, Orsia. Then we see Logan, Lobb, Murray, Wilson, Dylan Wilson right now, your 9th and final transfer cars.
You were talking about this track, Jerry, and it's interesting. Like, there's no part of this racetrack. Turn 1 isn't tight. You can just kind of sail it in there, and it's easy. Turn 2 is nice. It's lazy. You really don't feel like you've got to work the car really hard. You're just keeping the momentum up. Turn 3, same thing. But turn 4 is the only part of this racetrack where the turn gets tight, where if you're not on your game, if your car's too tight, you're going to push up and lose that bottom. Or if you're running the cushion, you're going to push up and get into the wall. The rest of the racetrack, just because of the shape of this place, is a momentum track. It feels like an Eldora almost, like a big circle. But then you get to that turn 4, and there's just that pinch. And that's where this racetrack is extremely tough.
Yeah, and if you don't pack a good lunch, I mean, you're gonna come up hungry one of those times, and things are going to go awry for you in the bottom of turn 4. It's all about making sure you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time, and, well, you're at the right place at the right time. Speaking of that, let's see the 9 who are going to be in the right place in just 2 laps from now, Sean. Green flag coming out of the starters. Stan McSwain will lead the field on down into turn number 1 and 2. McSwain, your leader. Now here comes Drew Hopkins down on the bottom side. Randall Carter, Freeberg as they race down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4.
Off of turn number 4, here they come. Hopkins there in the 157, looking to the inside, flirted with the tires. Randall Carter still runs in position number 2. If Hopkins can get that spot, that's one more row up in the A-Main starting lineup. Final set of turns, however, for Zach McSwain. He'll bring him to the checkered flag and win tonight's B-Main. Randall Carter second, Drew Hopkins third, Brandon Feber and Lyndon Whitfield the top 5 in tonight's B feature.
So that will set our 24-car starting field for tonight's opening event for the Mimi's Makings in Motion Warrior Logistics Super Late Models here on your nightcap. McSwain, Carter, Hopkins, Freeberg, Whitfield, Logan, Orsia, then it'll be Lobb and Taylor all going to the A-Main. Wilson, Tomasi, Maurice, Skolf, Slinger, Grace, Gage, and Moppert all moving on into the grandstands to watch. Speaking of watching, we're going to take a break, watch a couple commercials, and we will be back for your Nightcap feature event here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We are set. Your nightcap has come time. It is time for your Mimi's Makings in Motion Warrior Logistics Super Late Models. 84 beautiful degrees and partly cloudy with a 7-mile-an-hour wind here at Barberville, Florida at the Volusia Speedway Park. Of course, myself, Jerry Van Sickle, and Sean Neistat on the call here for your nightcap. And Sean, we have seen 5 heat races. We've seen the D. We've seen the C. We've seen the B, and now let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's 60-lap A main event. Starting 24th, it is Josh Taylor, and starting 23rd, rolling off on the inside, it is Mason Lobb.
The 11th row on the outside, he drives the 78 out of Georgia. It's Chris Orencia, and starting 21st on the grid in the 41, Matthew Logan.
Going to row number 10, it'll be Lyndon Whitfall in the 3-car, and his outside, Brandon Freeberg into 171 in the 19th starting spot.
Row number 9 is the 157 of Drew Hopkins on the outside, and on the inside, starting 17th, the number 37 of Randall Carter.
He rolls off on the outside of row number 8. It's a 21 of Zach McSwain, and to his left-hand side, it will be Tyson Pankow in the 91.
We go to the 7th row on the outside from Ohio. In car number 13, it's Travis St. Clair. And starting 13th on the grid tonight in the number 49 is Chase Hardy.
Going to row number 6 to the outside, it is Huey Quillen. In the 4, and to his inside, it is a 112 of Devin Morgan.
Your top 10 starters now. Outside row number 5. In the number 29, it's Clabe Ferguson. And starting 9th on the grid in the number 17, Derek Keltner.
Moving forward to row number 4 on the right-hand side, it's Austin Friedman on the 89 and to his inside. On the left-hand, it is the 1 of Ryan Underwood.
On the outside of the third row, in the number 42, it's Adam Hammerding. And lining up 5th in car number 07, it's Davin Cardwell.
Driving to the outside of row number 2, it is Dylan Hauser in the deuce, and to his outside out of Norwoodville, Quebec, Canada, it is the 12 of multi-time world champion Alex Bergeron.
And your front row shapes up like this. On the outside, the 127 of Blake Majulis. And on the pole, he picked up the big block win earlier tonight. He's your quick timer and a heat race winner. And the 33 for Victory Lane Racing, it's Evan C.
Sean, I tell you, what a field we've got on tack for you tonight. Once again, if you've been with us through all 3 events so far, the dirt street stocks, the 410s, the big blocks, the late models, we thank you for spending your Super Sunday Fun Day with us here on Ultimate Dirt TV. We're going to do it for the next 9 Sundays, so we hope you can join us as you see it. The most beautiful sight right there, super late models, racked and stacked 4 wide. You've asked for the best. You always get the best on Ultimate Dirt TV with the World of Thunder Esports League. Mimi's Makings Emotions. 4 wide salute here in your Warrior Logistics A main event. Oh, Sean, I got goose pimples. I got goose pimples. It's just, I'm ready.
You know,
but it's
virtual racing, but they're real. They're real. I love it.
Yeah, it is real. It's real. I mean, it's humans competing against humans in machines, and that is what racing is. It's taking a car and it's making it the best you can, and it's taking a computer and putting the best setup in that computer to make these cars the best you can. And when you talk about the best, man, that first 3 rows: Evan C., Blake Majulis, Alex Bergeron, Dylan Hauser, Cardwell, Hammerding. Wow, what a field of racers that have come to the World of Thunder Esports League and are in this. And this right here, because of the class of drivers, is why World of Thunder is known as one of the top leagues in the country. Usually, Sean will pick somebody. And I know who Wheeler always seems to take Blake Majulis, but it's season 12. It's a fresh start. Sean, you're the new guy here. You get first pick, and it's game open.
Oh, man, I am going to take your pole sitter. He's right there on the screen. I cannot bet against Evan C. Got his 30th career win with the World of Thunder earlier tonight in the big blocks from the pole. That's my pick.
Go with Majulis. Who you want, Wheeler? You know what? I take that back. You know what? Because I know who do you want, Wheeler? You know what? I know. I'm going to go with my pick earlier tonight. I'm going with Alex Bergeron. All right, Majulis was left open. Here we go, side by side off of turn number 4. It is time. Super late model showtime here on Ultimate Dirt TV. The Mimi's Making Emotions Warrior Logistics 60-lapper is underway, Sean.
Down into turn number 1 they go. Great start for Evan C. Majulis right there, and then side by side for third. Bergeron, Hauser, door to door down the backstretch into turn number 3. Here comes that 70 of Davin Cardwell right there in the top 5. First of 60 laps in the books.
Race down into turn number 1 and 2. Evan C. is rocked to the number 1 spot. Blake Majulis, man, we've seen that 1-2 run many times here on Sunday nights. As it's still Hauser, followed by Bergeron, the 70 machine of Cardwell, and here comes Ryan Underwood. Underwood is going to sneak to the bottom of the racetrack. They will go numbers deep and sell them cheap down into turn number 1 and 2. The 46 machine, Ryan Underwood, down to the inside of the 70 of Davin Cardwell. Cardwell's now going to give the spot to Underwood. Well, not give it, because Cardwell's going to see it get taken from him this time. Bergeron has got his teammate 2 cars back.
Underwood with a great drive last time off the very bottom of turn number 2 was able to hold it lower and kept the left side in the moisture. Here comes that number 42 of Adam Hammerding, starting to work a little higher groove just to the outside of Cardwell as they come through 3 and 4. And here comes some more battles. So really coming and going here early on in this feature event.
We will take a look at him off a 2 and down the back straightaway. Devin Morgan coming to the inside of the 112 car. Morgan down to the bottom side. Homerding up on the outside. Right ahead of him sits Cardwell in the 70 machine. They'll go numbers deep off of turn number 4. Give that spot to the 112 with Devin Morgan. Morgan now is going to slide on in. The 42 machine back on the inside of Homerding. Huey Quillen sits right behind them. He's got the best seat in the house watching this battle for 6th and 7th.
Homerding has been really searching around, trying to find that different line. As you see, leaving the bottom, starting to work the middle of the racetrack. Long feature event here at Volusia. The groove is going to move all over the place at this one as Quillen trying to peek his nose inside there. Here comes Morgan after Cardwell. Cardwell has 6th, Morgan in 7th, side by side for the spot. A little rub off of turn number 4.
Down the front straightaway, it'll still be to the inside. That Devin Morgan machine to the outside is Cardwell. Now Cardwell's going to take the spot away and solidify it. Buys himself a little bit of insurance down the back straightaway. First caution flag of the A-main is out. Yellow flag on the racetrack. So we'll take a look at, solid first number of a lap runs. Hopefully we'll get right back into that rhythm. Taking a look there, Travis Sinclair down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. See him get a little crossed up here, and then, car just, looks like it broke traction coming off of turn number 4, and as it does, collects the 66 machine, and tough break for those guys deeper in the field as we go to the caution flag here in tonight's A-main event.
Still, a lot of green flag laps right there to start this race, Jerry. But for those drivers deeper in the field, they were still stacked up. So you saw another accordion effect right there on that to bring out the caution. No malice, no bad intentions from any of those drivers. It's just really good, tight, close racing in this feature event at Volusia.
Tight quarters racing is going to make that happen. There's going to be some contact. There's going to be a little, as I've always said, love and touch and squeezing, and things are going to happen. And you see it when you watch these guys and gals in World of Thunder. There is that give and take, but sometimes if you've got to take it, somebody's not going to give it. So we'll watch and see as deep in the field these guys and gals know they've got to hurry up and run to the front on this as they chase down Evan C. and Blake Majulis on out front. Alex Bergeron working there in the number 3 spot. And we will see how this one shakes down. Like you said, Sean, nail on the head. Boom, hit it. 60 lapper here tonight, and the racetrack is going to change. We'll see this thing either, go to the top, stay on the bottom, work a couple lanes through the midsection. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here at the end of the 60 lapper.
So still plenty of time left on the board in this one, as Evan C. will bring us back to the green flag. Pace truck drops him off, and we are back underway here at Volusia.
Here we go. Like the school bus dropping the kids at school, it's time to go to recess and play, and that's what we're going to do up front. It's going to be Evan C. He's got Majulis to the outside. Majulis on the outside working the top of the racetrack. Evan C. right there on the bottom side. C. and Majulis both have titles here in the World of Thunder Esports League seasons. Watch them now. They'll cross each other over. Sean, here we go down the back straightaway.
It is on for the race lead. Evan C. and Blake Majulis throwing punches as we get to turn number 3. C. up the racetrack. Majulis with his nose to his inside. And right there with a great view of it is Dylan Hauser in 3rd. Back down into turn number 1 with the caution flag is out. Yellow over the speedway.
All of that action happening up front and about 6th on back. Things got all sideways. Deep in the field, a couple of them getting together in a big wreck over there in turn number 3 and 4, as we'll see here on our replay. Hummerding gets it on there. You watch him as you see Carter there in the 30 car. Hummerding in the 42 gets it on in there. They get together. Oh, Carter gets into the back of the 25, and then from there it's chaos ensues as you see it right there. Cardwell on the outside, Carter to the bottom. And then it's time to take a look up under the skirt. And via the nose of the 37, the 25 goes to the spin cycle. Hummerding nowhere to go. He picks the 37 up and says, "How you doing?" And that's going to bring...
Jerry, one thing we haven't talked about a lot in these late models, as I think we're not too far away from a restart, but when I get behind the wheel of one of these on iRacing, I always struggle with vision in in late models. And you wouldn't think that. Like, you're sitting in a normal car-ish, but late models are anything but a normal car. But you get that thing hiked up like they do in the corner, and you get carry in that left front. You don't always have the greatest vision in these cars, so that's why you can see those miscalculations. If you've never been in a real race car or been even in an iRacing simulator, it is nothing like what you're driving down the street for vision.
No.
So sometimes those little mistakes like that can happen very easily.
Well, it's especially, whether it's, you look at there, you've got a 5 or 7 or an 8-inch spoiler on the back of that deck lid like it is, and that sticks up there high, and that blocks that vision of you being able to look through the car in front of you. Like if you were on the road driving down there, you can see through the back window, see through the windshield of the guy in front of you. Here, you can't even see the back of their helmet sometimes because the spoiler in the way. Speaking of that, back here is the battle for about 4, 5, 6, and 7. Look at this, Sean. They'll fan them 3 wide off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Bergeron's got company. The 112 to the outside. Devin Morgan's going to drive on around him. Bergeron down on the bottom. They sit right behind that 2 of Dylan Hauser. Hauser's right there. Now you see Underwood in the 46 car. They go there 4 wide. Oh, Doctor. She's going to get good up front.
Underwood was the driver on the move, and that 46 machine was up to third, but he scraped the backstretch wall last time down there, and that allowed the number 2 of Hauser to come back after him. Underwood and Hauser side by side as they see C and Majulis running 1 and 2.
Those 2 guys will take off towards the front of this one. It's still going to be that battle back here. Here comes Bergeron, the driver out of Quebec, down on the inside in the 12 car, working on the 112 of Devin Morgan. Morgan right there. He's going to size up Hauser there in the Ryko number 2 machine. Underwood right ahead of him as they hustle on down into turn number 1 and 2. But Julius will dip the nose to the inside. But this battle right here between the cars with the 12s on them. That's the 112 of Morgan and the 12 of Bergeron.
That is 5th and 6th as they go down into turn number 3, right behind Hauser in that number 2. So it's still C, Majulis, Underwood, Hauser, and Morgan in the top 5. Hauser now taking a look to the inside of Underwood as they come off of turn number 2. You see this race now entering the 3rd turn. That number 1 of Underwood, strong early, now just holding on to the 3rd spot.
Down the front straightaway, they will race him. It's still Evan C., Blake Majulis, Ryan Underwood, Dylan Hauser, Devin Morgan, Alex Bergeron, Huey Quillen, Homerding. Then it is Cardwell, Keltner, and Hopkins. That's your top 11. 44 laps remaining here in your 60-lapper here at Volusia for your nightcap on Ultimate Dirt TV.
Yellow flag is out for the 3rd time in tonight's A-Main as we're just shy of 1/3 of the way home in this one as the yellow slows the pack down once again.
So caution flag out on the racetrack as they circle the speedway. Chase Hardy with some troubles as we take a look at him off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Hardy's going to let the car drift up the back straightaway. Look at this. Ooh, Hardy, well, he let it drift up and the door come open, and that's what I talk about, that giving and taking. Hardy gave an inch and the 78 took a mile getting down into turn number 3. As we watch this, you see that moisture down to the bottom side, and then just as the 78 car gets 3 of the 4 tires out of that moisture that's around the bottom and into the slick, was carrying so much momentum, Sean, that it just brought that thing, broke the traction, and you get to see that, of course, not only announcing it, Hugh sits up there on Sunday nights. You also regional touring series for late models. You voice that on multiple occasions throughout the summer.
RepairableVehicles.com, Tri-State late models up here, Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, Nebraska. We've got a great schedule in 2021, and I did my math on my schedule for this next year. I'm at 93 events. If I could be everywhere that I could be, I could make 93 races. I think I'm going to have to whittle it down to about 72 or so.
It's about my schedule. I think looking at what I've got on the docket for next year, about 75 to 80 nights on the road, and looking forward to getting back outside, and hopefully everything that is happening wrong in the world today, tomorrow will change, and we can go out and we can not have to worry about being masked up and sitting 6 feet apart and have full grandstands and just have it the way it used to be at a racetrack.
I want an after-race pit party. That's what I miss.
God.
Well, there's going to be a big pit party for Majulis or C if they can hold on and get this win. Oh, they're rubbing on this restart. Oh, boy, nearly 4 wide down into turn number 1. This is not going to be good. Oh, boy, look at that move. The 2 of Hauser sneaking through. Underwood, C, 3 wide for the lead.
He gets up, Majulis gets turned from behind. We've got troubles down in turn 3 and 4. Majulis turned around off of the nose of somebody as we go to the caution flag. That thing all started with almost what looked to be a botched up start from the front row. As you see, things got crazy narrow getting into turn 3, and then the 4 machine of Quillen got into the back of the 127 of Majulis. But if we back this thing up to the start, look at that. Just everything, everything slowed up in front of Quillen and because of everybody getting together. But we watch this thing. It actually starts from the drop of the green, Sean. Right here, the front row, they get together right here. And this is where it bottlenecks everything so it almost comes full circle. It started about right here, and it ended about right there. As you see, Evan C. gets there, broke track. You see the car, it kind of bobbles, broke traction just enough, set the car to the right. Him and Majulis get together. Underwood says, oh my goodness, it's Christmas morning and Santa Claus has brought me a present. He sees the bottom of the racetrack open. Hauser's like, how you doing, kids? I'm up here too. And then here is where things go south. And like I said, you look at Quillen's got a big run coming into turn 3 and just didn't get the brakes pumped enough, or just didn't expect Majulis to be off the power as quick as he was. So tough break for some of your front runners, and that is going to leave C up front, it looks like. And then we will see the 46 machine of Underwood. Hauser, your top 3.
C may still be up front, though, but look at that car. It is dinged up, and that, Jerry, you know as well as I, it sounds crazy to be talking about dirt racing and aerodynamics, but it's true. At the rear end of that car is jacked up in the air. As we go back to green here, Evan C., Ryan Underwood, and Dylan Hauser, the top 3. Here we go for the race lead. Ryan Underwood is right there with Evan C.
You saw some of the effects of it as they came down the front straightaway with the aero package being messed up. That thing hopped along down the front straightaway for Evan C. We'll see what happens. You see it as it gets up off the bars. It just hops a little bit. Underwood right there to the number 2 spot. Hauser, then it is Devin Morgan and Alex Bergeron. Bergeron back there into the number 5 spot as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Battle still pursuing on up front. Underwood looking to the bottom. Evan C. right there trying to hold him at bay.
2 different grooves here as C runs kind of more that middle line. We'll see if Underwood can get the left side tires into that moisture that is right along the wall on the very bottom. He's working for it, and working for the lead, but C still leads off of 4.
Man, they're going to stay down there on the bottom. You watch Bergeron and Morgan going to the top of the racetrack down there in turn 3 and 4. Will they burn that in? Will they work that to the aspect of where they need to be, or is with everybody running to the bottom? Are they dirtying that top lane up? We'll find out here towards the ends of this one. Is Evan C. still racing the lead? Underwood working second. The 2 of Hauser is third. Now you see Devin Morgan right there in the tire tracks. They go fence post formation down into turn number 3.
Not bad when you can see your top 5 all in one screenshot as they work off of the corner. Bergeron, the Lone Ranger, trying to rip the top. We'll see if it comes around for him. Underwood continues to peak underneath Evan C. for the race lead, bringing Dylan Hauser with him. We'll have to see if this is going to pay off. Oh, a little contact there between 3rd and 4th. The 2 of Hauser getting a shot from Devin Morgan.
A little bit of a slam to the hand, bump to the rump. There it is for 3rd. Bergeron's able to catch on up to it, but they'll drive down past him off the back straightaway. Still Hauser in the number 2 spot. Now watch this. Underwood is coming back to the inside. Evan C., like you talked about, damage on that car, Sean, but I do not believe it is going to put any hamper or damper the run that 33 has got up front, as we are now just past the halfway mark down the back straightaway.
So strong is the driver of that 33 machine all the time. Now Devin Morgan's going to go to the top. So Alex Bergeron has found himself a friend trying to burn that top groove in and clean it off. As you see the note there, Drew Hopkins up to 8th from 18th on the grid, moving through the pack. Speaking of moving, here come those drivers outside the lead spot in the top 5, all trying to set their sights on Evan C.
They'll do that, and as they work them on in, you see Bergeron slips up just a little bit. You'll see him grab that moisture and, leave the left front at home coming off of turn number 2, as Hauser now has a run on the 46 of Underwood. Watch these guys off at turn number 4. Still Evan C., your race leader. Hauser back there. The meat of the sandwich is that Ryan Underwood, number 46. Devin Morgan has come from 11th to that number 4 spot. He is a plus bunch, working down into turn number 3 and 4. Still, Evan C., your race leader, top 5, breaking away big time from the field.
These are 5 world-class drivers in the top 5 right now. You don't see mistakes and bobbles out of these kinds of drivers, but if there is just the slightest mistake, you can guarantee one of these other drivers in the top 5 is going to capitalize. D doing a little peekaboo as he continues to lead by the stripe.
C says, hello, how are you? Where you been? Hide and go seek was down the front straight away they went. It'll be the 33 of Evan C., your race leader, the 46 of Underwood. Still Hauser right back there as the caution flag once again is unfurled out of the starter stand here in your Beamies Makings and Motions Warrior Logistics Super Late Model feature. And taking a look, Zach McSwain. See what happens here. Davin Cardwell with a big run, and then, Cardwell caught the inside berm or the inside wall down there in turn number 1, and that shot him up into McSwain. You see it right here back. It starts there as the 70 of Cardwell was, it was full send right to that point. And he made contact. There it is. Right here, here comes just going to send it. And then boom, he'd made contact as the back end came around. And McSwain is just hanging on for dear life as he takes a huge hit, rips the nose off of that 25 car. And that is going to put both of those DUN done for the A main event, I believe. So
I guarantee you Cardwell saw that chance and he had that run from that top side of turn number 4, and he thought he had it made. He was going to send it down there, and I guarantee you when he shot for it, he went, uh-oh.
Yeah, he did. Dead. He did. You know, you watch it. He got that big run off of turn 4, and it was, like I said, it was full send. It was mullets and bush lattes, and we were going to see if old Larry Enticer was able to make it happen, but just didn't. So, speaking of making it happen, right up front, that 33 of Evan C. Like we said, Evan C. Pretty well-known go-kart racer. Here, I think it was our season championship about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Was actually Coke syrup racing or dirt racing. I think I caught that on like Pit Road TV. That was where Scotty Too Hottie was at.
Oh yes.
And yes. Evan C won a feature. They drove 8.5 hours from the time they left the racetrack. It was just time to jump on and race the final events of World of Thunder Season 11. So he came from picking up a win to picking up a title in that 33 car all in one day. And we'll see what happens here as he's looking to pick up and lead the series points leader. But that 46 of Underwood and, well, the rest of the hounds, Sean, have got a whole different story for him.
That is dedication as he continues to show the way in this one. Hauser in that second spot, or Underwood in the second spot, Hauser in third. Kind of looking here at the 4th and 5th place running Morgan and Bergeron. They really dipped down and followed that top 3 over here as we get a little bit side by side for that second spot, but they can't seem to really find the line that they want to run down in 3 and 4 that is different than what the top 3 are running.
Exactly. They're searching. You watch Alex Bergeron. He's been on this racetrack in a street stock. He's been on it in a 410 sprint car, and he's been on a big block modified and now in a super late model. So he's had a lot of laps on this racetrack. He goes now, pulls up numbers deep, working to the outside of the 112 of Morgan. Morgan to the inside. Bergeron's going to get the spot. Boom, bang, got it. Put it to the 4th spot. Can he make a podium finish?
trying to run that higher line, but you see how the top 3 get away. I'm curious to see if any of these drivers will go all the way to the wall over there in 3 and 4. Looks like there's still moisture up there, but they continue to run through that thinner strip of moisture that's about 3/4 of the way up the racetrack.
We'll see what happens as they work on down into turn number 1 and 2. Now down the back straightaway. It is that 33 machine of Evan C. C still out front. Watch him off of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway. C. Then it is Underwood, Hauser, Bergeron, Morgan, Hopkins, Hummerding, Freeberg, Kelter, Logan. That's your top 10 as this one's winding on down, Sean.
Those top 3 just stay so close together. I mean, think about how they are driving this and flawlessly as we've got a battle for the lead. Here comes Underwood to the inside of C. Can he get the drive off of turn number 2? No. C better drive off of the turn. Does that open the door for Hauser? Hauser takes a shot, looks underneath the tail of Underwood. It's getting hectic up front here. Business is picking up.
I tell you what, we see it. I don't care what race it is, but you got long races. Now you've got a typical Saturday night feature left or a Sunday afternoon showdown. 20 laps. It's now time to win it or wear it. They conserve this stuff for the first 40 laps. You've got to save it to the end. If you're not there at the end, it did you no good to get there in the beginning. Down into turn number 1 and 2, it's still C right there. You see the racetrack getting some character down the front straightaway. We saw it in the big blocks. Kind of got that little bit of a hop and a hump down into turn number 3, and you'll see it big time down the front straightaway. Evan C. right there holding and protecting the bottom. Time to set serve. Down into turn number 1. Hot coffee served, and it's by Dylan Hauser in the 2.
Hauser had a run. He went higher over there in 3 and 4, gave him the momentum down into 1, couldn't capitalize. Here comes Bergeron to the inside of Hauser. Bergeron next to the inside concrete, next to Hauser, side by side off of turn number 4. Hauser holds onto the spot. Bergeron still in 4th. Oh, the pace is picking up and getting wild out front.
You knew it was going to happen this way, Sean. You knew the last 20 was going to be what we've been waiting all night for. Look at the action down into turn number 3 and 4. That 33 of Evan C. still on the outside. It'll be Underwood, followed by Hauser, Bergeron, and Morgan. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right now. Business is open. I tell you what, it's like driving by the Krispy Kreme at 7 a.m. The light's on, and it says hot now because it is on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, look at that. Dylan Hauser and Ryan Underwood side by side for second. They're side by side for third as well. Little contact, little rubbing down there into turn number 1. Here comes Hauser to the inside. He's got second. Underwood battling back. He's got the spot as they hit turn number 3. Side by side. 2, 3, 4, and 5 positions all battling it out.
They work it side by side like that. Evan C's taking a breath. He knows that he's got some real estate between this battle back there. As long as those guys keep duking it out side by side, he is going to have free room to roam. Down into turn number 3 and 4, it will be that 46 machine. Ryan Underwood still in the deuce. Third right now is still Hauser, Bergeron, and Morgan. They'll race down into turn number 1 and 2. Evan C. out front. They're now Morgan and Bergeron. Pair of 12 cars working side by side down the back straightaway. Remember, this one is coming right to the end. Bergeron comes right to the deck lid, takes a look up under the spoiler, has nothing to go at him as they hustle back to turn 1.
There is some traffic looming in front of your leaders. Keep that in mind here in just a few laps as you saw the advantage that Evan C. now has over Ryan Underwood and the rest of the drivers in the top 5 as Bergeron full send into turn number 3. You saw a peak of that traffic as they come by the stripe and head down to turn number 1. Can Evan C. navigate the traffic when we get there?
We'll find out. We'll see it. Hauser right there working. Now you see the 33 of Bergeron getting around Austin Friedman. First one lap car. Now here is where the lap car becomes a play. It becomes a pick with 10 to go. It is going to see who gets stuck and who doesn't. Now Hauser, you saw him. He gave a little bit of right side romance to the 46 machine to move him past the lap car. Used the pick to his advantage, and that's going to put Hauser in the 2 car to the second spot. Underwood coming back to the bottom side. Bergeron is right there. What a battle. You've got a 4-car race for 2.
Business is getting wild on this one. Hauser with great drive there off of turn number 2, but getting into 3 is where Underwood has been stronger than those around him. You see him drive it deep down there on the bottom of 3, and he pulls side by side once again with Dylan Hauser. Advantage Hauser still in second, and now Underwood in third.
Ah, man, what a race you got going here. Your race leader, Evan C., is gone. If he was thinking anything, it would be, man, I'm glad I'm not back there with those four. They have been on this thing for the last 15 laps, working it down the front straightaway. Still that 12 machine to the outside of Alex Bergeron. Bergeron still working there. Now you see the 33 of C getting into heavy lap traffic as they work down the back straightaway. Evan C going to have to pick and roll the lap car sideways in front of him. He will go ahead and get that thing moved back on down. Now you've got a pair of lappers, and there has been big-time insurance bought for your race leader.
Here comes Underwood after Hauser once again as the lap cars try to stay out of this one and not be the deciding factor. Don't be that guy. That's what's going through their head right now. There you see the two of Hauser starting to see Evan C. check out and leave them in the dust.
We'll see what happened. They got together with a lapper down the front straightaway. Looks like everything going to stay clean and green. Is C, Hauser, Underwood, Bergeron, Morgan. That's your top five working on down his laps, winding down. We are in the clutches of this one. Just 5 laps, I believe, to go as they work down into turn number 1 and 2.
So I think we're inside of that, maybe down to 4 to go as the laps are really winding down. Good battle here. The 12 of Bergeron, 112 of Devin Morgan, racing for 4th and 5th, right behind Ryan Underwood. By the stripe, 3 to go.
They'll work on down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at this, Bergeron still back to the outside. It'll be Morgan back on the bottom of the racetrack. The 12 machine to the outside, the 112 to the inside. That is Bergeron and Morgan. Right ahead of them sits Ryan Underwood. Ahead of those two sits Hauser and C, as they have got 2 to go. Hauser starting to close in on your race leader, Evan C. Sean, white flag will be coming out this time.
Does Dylan Hauser have enough time? Just over 0.4 of a mile from right now. Can he get there? Evan C. with the white flag in the air. Dylan Hauser's found a different line. Enters in 1, runs it down the racetrack. He's got it within a car length, but C with a great drive down the backstretch.
Final 2 left-handers coming. Here comes Hauser to the inside. Hauser with right side romance. There's contact. They're beating. They're banging. It's checkered flag. It's Evan C. holding off Dylan Hauser. Ryan Underwood, 1, 2, and 3. Wow, what a feature as Evan C. holds off the last lap. I don't know if you call it a attempt pass, some Rubbins racing, but man, when it comes down to them final 2 left-handers, Sean, it is going to be on, and luckily, nothing comes out of it. Hauser's going to settle for 2nd. C is going to take the win, so it's going to be Evan C. leaving as your points leader. Dylan Hauser, Ryan Underwood, Alex Bergeron, Devin Morgan going your top 5. Sean, 6 on back.
Drew Hopkins was 6th, and Hammerding finished 7th. Huey Hewlin was 8th, Randall Carter 9th, and Blake Majulis completing your top 10 tonight.
Taking a look at 11th on back, that is Brandon Freeberg in the 11th spot. 12th will be Matthew Logan. 13th going to Chris Orsia. Then it will be Landon Whitfull and Derek Keltner, your 15th finisher.
Josh Taylor goes 16th here this evening. Tyson Pankow finishes 17th. Mason Lobb 18th. Caleb Ferguson 19th. And Austin Friedman coming home in 20th.
Final 4 finishers, Davin Cardwell, Zach McSwain, Chase Hardy, and Thomas St. Clair. So those are your 24 finishers in that order. We're going to meet and greet our top 3 on our podium down front here just momentarily. They'll be making their way to us, but before we get to that, we're going to send it away, pay a couple bills, and it will be on to Victory Lane here to meet and greet your top 3 in tonight's Mimi's Makings and Motions Warrior Logistics season opener here at World of Thunder. Welcome back after an exciting nightcap to a fabulous start to Season 12 of the World of Thunder Esports League Super Late Models. What a show it was. Mimi's Makings and Motions Warrior Logistics Super Late Model feature came right down to the end, and we've made our way into victory lane. Evan C., tonight's feature win. He will keep his winning ways up in the Supers. And Evan, what a run. You took off from the drop of the green, and you kept her there. What a run.
Yeah, wish we could have had an even better race. Definitely wasn't a fun race after we got that damage. It was a slight driving on ice the last, 55 laps, whatever there. So we was just trying to hold on, like I said, and, it's just unfortunate because it was like 3/10 off what we could have been, and, just, I don't know, it just kind of sucked there that, that happened on the restart and just got drove through. But was able to hold on for the win, and hopefully we can pick up some more in this series.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's season 11 was good to you here on World of Thunder, and season 12 starting out that way. Like we said, had that incident there on the restart, and then coming to the checkers, little right side romance, but you were able just to hang on to that thing, and it's got to feel good to leave tonight on top of the points battle with, like we said, some big money on the line at the end of the year or at the end of the season for this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel pretty good in both the big blocks and late models. Looking at the tracks on the schedule. So I feel like if we can, just continue to, keep getting these top fives and qualifying up front and winning those heats, we can hopefully get another championship here in the supers, and also one for the big blocks.
We'll give it the best shot there. I know you got a lot of great sponsors and a beautiful looking hot rod as always. Who do you want to thank for the win here to season opener fixture win?
Yeah, just all the guys at Team OLR in there. We had great runs in both the big blocks, supers today, and Jeff Brown and Iris Knife Flag for all he does. Jim Emery Next Level Designs for the paints. Kevin Dedman, his band, Dirty Grass Soul, ShopFergie.com, and Captain Morgan. And just thank y'all guys for doing a broadcast for us today, and Steven for putting on a series.
There you go. Congratulations, Evan C., your feature winner here in your Mimi's Makings and Motions Warrior Logistics Super Late Model A main. Sean, you've got a runner-up down here.
Catching up with Dylan Hauser down here in Victory Lane, driver of the number 2 machine. Dylan, how badly did you want to make that pass on that final set of turns?
It's pretty bad. We got blocked an entire race by his teammate, but nothing I could do there. His teammate was just holding me up enough to where Evan could keep the lead, but if we could have got around Ryan a little sooner, the lights would have been out. We would have won the race by straightaway, but we got some pretty big damage there a couple times from Devin, Evan's teammate. He punted me in the back a few times, so it is what it is. These teams sitting here and they have team orders, and I get it. Ryan doesn't want to beat Evan because if Ryan beats Evan, Evan's not going to send him a set again. I get it. It sucks. That's how it is, but it is what it is. And Evan raced me pretty dirty in the last league race, so I wasn't going to race him clean. But second place is pretty good, considering we had no practice and came out here, qualified 4th, and I feel like we should have been pole. I missed it a little bit, so we got good speed in our cars right now. We just got to keep digging and, I don't know, see what we could do for this season. It's a long season, so you just got to be smooth and stay up front all year and hopefully come out on top.
You talked about how tough it was there in this feature event. How much were you gritting your teeth, grabbing that steering wheel? What was it like for you piloting that number 2?
It's tough because, the only reason Ryan got around me was on a restart. And before the restart, I'd pull him every time, and then he got around me on a restart by using me up. So then I used him back up to get back by him. He was upset about it, but I raced him clean for 50 laps. So I lifted for him every time. And every time I lifted for him, I got shot in the back. So I shouldn't have lifted for him probably, but it is what it is. Volusia's locked down around the middle, so that's what you get usually. It's tough. But other than that, the racing was pretty decent. It's just so hard to pass. But at least we had a pretty good car. Lotus set up there right before the feature, and it was a good one. So a few adjustments, and I think it'd be a little better. It was a little tight getting in sometimes. But other than that, it was good. So I just really got to thank Steve and the admins for putting the league on. It was a good night of racing. I think they got one more show left. I'm not sure. Had a blast tonight. Thank all the sponsors, Mini Macon, who sponsors the series, and all my sponsors, 126 Motorsports, D12 Dirty Dozen. Everybody, if you want my setup, check them out on Ryko. If you want my Dylan Hauser setup book, just message me on Facebook. Learn how to set these things up, be competitive, and see you guys next week.
Sounds good. Dylan Hauser places second here tonight. Ryan Underwood will complete the podium run here tonight. Jerry Van Sickle's caught up to him.
Ryan, nice job putting this thing in the top three. Had your hands full there. You guys were back and forth, and thought I thought there for a minute we was a little bit of Rocky 2 going on out there.
I think I had something to get past Evan, but with it being single file, it was just hard to pass. And there towards the end of the race, I really had to crutch the car to the finish because I was just so loose. I was set up to hopefully have a long green flag run, and at the beginning of it, pull away. But them last 25 laps, it really killed me.
Yeah, walking the street, like you said, we talked about it and alluded to it. On these longer races, you've got to set up to be there to the end, and if you miss that setup, just a titch, I mean, it's enough to throw it off, isn't it?
Oh yeah, all the work we put in these cars, it's who just comes up to make the better setup at the end of the day.
So making the setup better and making it quick. Who do you want to thank for the third place on the podium tonight?
Everybody at Team VLR, Dirty Grass Soul, Mecca Motorsports, Northside Graphics and Designs, all they do for me, Cross Racing Designs, Tac 3 Defense, ShopFergie22.com, C High Performance, and that's it.
All right. Well, congratulations, Ryan. We'll see you back next Sunday night here for night number 2 of the Super Late Models. So that will conclude, Sean, your first broadcast with us here on World of Thunder. And I know it's not your last. Give us, being the new guy and coming in, give me your take on tonight's action here at Volusia.
I'm hooked. I am hooked. The caliber of talent in this right here with the World of Thunder. I'm hooked. I cannot wait for next Sunday night to roll around once again to see just how tight that top 5 group ran, and they can call it what they want. The drivers, it's really tough when you're disappointed you didn't get the win and you feel like you could. So, there's a lot of emotion down there in victory lane, but I love to hear things like that because that tells you just how badly these drivers want to win. And when drivers want to win that badly, that tells you how great the level of competition is. So I cannot wait for next Sunday.
I tell you what, moving into season 12, night number 2, didn't think it'd be this early, but I tell you what, kids and cats, bring your mama because there's a little drama going to come night number 2. We'll see what happens. So on behalf of all of our great sponsors, Diggs, Rocket Race Setups, SRW, Mid-South Dirt Slingers, Envision Custom Graphics, Cage Agronomy Services, Worldwide iRacing League Association, Grace Promotions or Productions, DirtFan.com, Miller Family Trucking, Warrior Logistics, and Mimi's Making in Motion. We do thank and appreciate each and every one of you for supporting the World of Thunder Esports League by joining us here on probably one of the worldwide leaders of iRacing and sim sports, Ultimate Dirt TV. So from the entire staff that's been with you all Sunday, myself, Zach Newton, Alex Robinson, and my good buddy with us. He's hooked. You hear him. He'll be back next week. Sean Neested. My name's Jerry Van Sickle. Brett Wheeler back in the truck. BJ Robinson, and of course, Steve for putting on this great world-class league. If you like what you see, make sure and follow us on Facebook. Send the stars, watch the videos, and share them on out. Sean, next Sunday night, it's going to be a Jim Dandy, and we look to see everybody right back here on Ultimate Dirt TV. So from all of us to all of you, have a safe trip home. Be good. God bless. And good night, everybody.